Hey all, Kurt Sasso here from TGT Media, the entertainment industry interview podcast, where we interview the creative minds from the comic, film, music, and game publishing industry, and I'm your host, Kurt. We are joined today by a very talented creator in his own right. He is, of course, most recently had a very successful, extremely successful Kickstarter campaign for his very first book of Raven's Dojo. And just by that hint, we are joined today by Ravenperez. How you doing today, Raven?
I am fantastic. Thank you, Kurt.
Wonderful, wonderful. Glad to hear it.
Never been better.
You know, when I first saw your Kickstarter campaign, I'd seen your comic before. It's been a while since I've actually read it, so bear with me here.
It's okay.
But when I saw that you were doing a Kickstarter campaign, I was actually excited because you have a great colorful style. You have some really wacky, crazy, messed up characters that love fighting, among other things.
That's it.
It's like a cross between Mad Magazine and martial arts in a sense. It's just like that.
I am okay with that. That is, you pinned the tail on the donkey.
So why did you want to do, first off, it's of course at ravensdojo.com, and tell us what it's all about first.
The comic ravensdojo.com is, it's comedy action. You're gonna laugh, and but there's also too, I'm really, huge superhero fan. So there's a ton of that stuff in there, but because it's comedy heavy, I really wanted to keep people laughing. So that's the feel of it, comedy action. You know, these guys go on adventures, but they're total morons. They're also happen to be like Earth's greatest heroes, so nobody believes that they are. They were erased from the memories of mankind for mankind's own good. So all kinds of stuff happens to them because of that. Their past keeps coming back to haunt them, you know. So it's kind of an adventure comic with heavy comedy elements. So yeah, nothing too heavy. You might cry once or twice. There'll be tears of joy.
I have to get a new side because it's splitting.
New pants because you pooped.
Yeah, that too. You know, luckily it's a no pants podcast, so that works out well.
Camera's up here, the action's down there.
I didn't think you'd go there, but all right.
Let me just turn on this lower webcam. No, I'm kidding.
I'm sorry, I don't have objects in the camera are moving on. When it comes to this comic, though, being that you have a warped sense of humor, and I can safely say that because I'm a warped type of guy, what challenges have you had to face when you started putting this together when you first started?
The comic, period, it's a lot of challenges of, like, perception. A lot of people are not down with... it's so funny because, like, you feel like everybody likes to, like... watch the news and like see the latest tragedy and stuff and talk about how like immoral the world's getting or whatever. But we live in a pretty moral world. So it's not that the comic's immoral. It's that having a warped sense of humor, you know, you like, you know, raunchy comedy or profanity, you know, to me, they're just like ways to flavor up dialogue. You know, I don't like put any word on a pedestal or whatever. So yeah, it's a lot of challenges of perception. People see the cartoony characters and their knee jerk is to go into it and be like, "Oh, this is something my kids might like." And I'm like, no. But I'm actually cool with that if you're cool with that, you know. So I have a friend who let his kid. See, here's what's so funny about that though is I have a friend who let his kid read his comic growing up. And the dojo's been around for like 5 years now, so this kid is now a teenager. And I talked to this kid about his experiences, and he said growing up he liked Dornell just because he was the most colorful. He's the bright green and yellow dragon. And then he said, I grew up, he said, and I realized, wow, that character is really dirty. And I was like, well, that's how it works though, right? When you're a kid, you don't know anything. you just laugh and enjoy comedy and slapstick and action, and the adult jokes. Whew, so, no harm, no foul. That's the biggest challenge is just the content, and yeah, that's really it. Just more than anything. But people have been awesome. Like, once people get on board with what you're doing, yeah, they like it. They understand.
Has there ever been a time where you have a parent or something, maybe at a convention or whatever, they see you and it's like a V line right to you saying, "You have corrupted my child. How dare you?"
I've been very blessed. I've never had any kind of real content backlash, and especially not at conventions. Mostly because I just play it safe. If I see little kids coming, I'll flip I'll flip a thing around or whatever. I had a parent thank me. I saw their kid coming and I was just like, whoop, because that's not a sell. You're not going to make any money there. You might lose money. So I just flipped it around. The parent was like, right, cool. No, I've been very fortunate. I've never had that backlash.
Which is a surprise with the type of comedy you have in general. I figured there'd be pitchforks, tar feather, and banging down your door or whatever. It's oh, it must be a Friday update.
It's just a regular day here at Casa de Perez. Normal villager uprising. Even on the website, I said content was the biggest challenge, but only in terms of perception. Once people realize that, it's it's a raunchy comedy, they're just okay. A lot of the times it's just that initial shock of seeing cartoony characters do bad things, and plus too, it's weird that that's even a shock. Isn't that most of the internet these days? I don't. Somebody was I don't know, if I had a detractor that would be oh, you think you're so edgy. It's I'm not trying to be edgy. That's the last thing. Don't try. That's trying to be cool. I just do what's appealing to me and funny. And like I said, there's so much on the internet anyway. I don't know. I never feel like I'm doing anything too bad.
Speaking of that, do you think that you've solidified yourself as a webcomic creator or as a comic creator?
Oh, man, I want to be. The reality of it is I just don't do it for a living. I need a day job right now. It's commissions at the moment, so I guess I'm kind of more a cartoonist than ever. But for the whole time the dojo has been going, I've been working a regular 9 to 5. Just updating in my off time. So I'm definitely a comic creator in that it's all I do, care about, want to do. I don't have any desires to go do TV or any movies. I would turn it down because I don't have any interest in that at all. So I've always been a comic creator. Even as a kid, that's where these characters came from. Is before I had a Nintendo, I had pencil and paper. And would just draw thousands of Rodney and Dornell comics, and I don't know. I'm a comic creator. Unfortunately, it's just not how I make my bread. Not yet. Maybe we'll get there.
Are you still that traditional artist when you were a kid, or have you upgraded to the digital age?
I am so old school. I am if I, when the camera's off, I'm going to just rip this mask away and you just see a 100-foot gray beard pour out. I'm so old school. If I could color at all without a computer, I would color traditionally. I love everything. It's fun to draw. It's fun to I was hand lettering until I realized that my hand lettering looks like a nightmare. A nightmare alphabet soup. It's just I really love all the, it's just fun, it's fun to draw with the pen and paper. It's that same fun that you had as a kid. When you're on a computer, there's new problems to worry about that you don't have when you're drawing. It's just you and it's simple, I don't know. That's it, really. I'm a simpleton, and doing things in the real world is a lot more simple than doing them on a computer, which is terrible. I have a friend that's like Johnny Future. He's going 100% digital, and I don't know. I'm just like, don't you like paper?
Don't you like that tactile sensation there?
That's it. It's the way the paper drags under my pen. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just easier. It's just easier to draw. Like, you don't have to worry about like resolution and is this going to look like crap on someone else's monitor? I still draw it, scan it in, color in Photoshop, letter in Photoshop. But yeah, that's even like lettering is like within the last 5 years.
Well, in terms of then, let's go to the Kickstarter campaign, and then we'll go into the business side of things as well. When it comes to the Kickstarter, you had a fairly lofty goal in a limited amount of time. You were reasonable with your funds. I think it was like $8,000 or something like that.
It was $14,000.
Fortune, that's right. Sorry, I was another campaign.
That's okay. Because that was the thing. Four over what's normally considered reasonable. Like 10 is what they Kickstarter tells you. If you want to succeed, ask for 10.
Well, that was the interesting thing, because it was going down to the last 12 hours. And I was watching this. I was watching this too. You were pushing it on Facebook. You had the Twitter going. You had everything going. And it was in the last 4 hours that you finally hit your goal. Explain the fact of what went through your mind once you saw that succeeded message.
So what was so funny is that like it happened like just like you said, like it was like a Disney movie. Like I had 4 hours to go, and so mentally I was all like prepared to fail. Like I wasn't gonna like cry at the end of the campaign and just like go lay down and not move for hours. But like I was like, well, crap. But the whole campaign I had this like, self-motivational like mantra. I was like, if it fails, don't let it fail because you didn't try everything you could. So even though there were only like 4 hours to go, I was like, well, we'll do a video. Somebody had said, do a video. And I was like, was that you?
Yeah.
The man. I don't know if the video was Turn the Tide, but here's how it Disney movied out, right? I was like, okay. I was like, that's a good idea. I'm going to do the video. I shot a video real quick. And I was like, it's not too late. We can still do it. We really can. And by the time the video was up, somebody had donated $1,000. Because, like, I had $2,000 spots, and one of them was already snapped up. And I was like, that was from, like, a real good college friend. So and he was like, absolutely, it's nuts. But he was absolutely, like, just trying to, like, do me a favor. Like, this is going to blow, like, probably everyone's mind, but, like, he doesn't even really read the comic. So he was like, oh, I like people who chase their dreams. Nice. I was like, well, I like you a lot. But, like, the other $1,000 spot went, and that was a total Cinderella story moment just because I was originally going to do $1,000 spot. And really, it's just so funny because the minute that went, I was like, whoa, we can do it. Like, by the time I uploaded the video, the video was already out of date. And then, like, I think that $1,000 donation just got the ball rolling. People were like, well, hey, this isn't insurmountable now. And it just shot through. I found out because I was doing all my, hey, guys, we got $1,000 donation. We're closer than ever. We can do it. I was doing all that, right? And then I was on Facebook and Twitter and all that crap. A Facebook status from a friend is how I found out we hit goal. He was like, congratulations, you did it. And I was like, is he talking about the $1,000 donation? And then I was like, he's talking about the goal, Because that was like, at that point, that would have been like 2,800. So I was like, there's no way we got 2,800 in like 3 minutes. What is this? What's he talking about? And when I clicked it again, I like hit refresh, and it like jumped from like needing like 2,800 to like 14,100. I was like, what? So like, yeah, I got sick, physically ill. Like it was people like I've been saying it was an emotional roller coaster. I was like physically sick, and when you hit goal, like what happens is all the people that were there to help you that didn't really have money, they start canceling. So like it dipped below and then came back up, and oh yeah, man, it was nuts. So yeah, nerves of steel. I don't think firefighters are that scared.
Well, it was amazing. It was a hell of a ride. I mean, I really think that short video you did, it was your cat that set it off, because your cat was sitting up on the chair.
They call that cat the $3,000 cat.
It's going to get a gold bowl of water tonight.
I put that cat down. No. I was like, well, you've peaked in life. When's a cat going to have a moment this great again? No. She's stuffed. I'll just twist the camera over there. No, that cat's the best cat I've ever owned. Just like I twist in a moment of terror, I twist it over and there's the cat stuff. Say hello, Jingles. Say hello.
You had me there. I thought you actually. Oh, you son of. Oh. Oh God.
When's a cat gonna do? They sleep and eat, Kurt. They don't get $3,000. They don't save people's dreams. When's a cat do that?
Oh God.
No cat saves dreams. That's once in a lifetime. That cat's done.
That's the 9 lives right there.
Yeah, it spent all of them. That's why I had it stuffed. Commemorate the moment, you know? Just like I want to be stuffed when I achieve my goals.
Oh, God. Yeah. It's that Kirk pose or whatever. It's just like...
Carbonite. Yeah. It was the scariest, most... Like, I was physically ill for an entire hour after we hit goal. I was ready to puke. And, like, I kept telling, like, my girlfriend, I was like, I'm going to puke. And she was like, calm down. I was like, it's not, like, excitement. I, like, am freaked out. Because, I don't know, man. You just were so, like, it seemed so unreal. I don't know. And you know what's funny? Is that, like, all I did was get, like, 14K, right? Imagine these people. I saw one that did, like, 2 million. You just go on a killing spree. How would you even feel? And it's funny, too, because that money's spent. It's not like I had a buddy who's like, you're probably going to go out and have a party. I'm like, on what?
On my shoestring budget?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know if you can see, but like, my glasses are still taped on both sides. It's like, I'm still super poor. That money... You plan to spend every dollar of it before the Kickstarter, so there's no party. And that's what's sad. There's no party. It's like, yes! This ramen tastes so much better tonight. You know? I'm going to put an extra flavor pack from another thing of ramen in there.
I'm going to drink this red wine vinegar that I have in my fridge to celebrate.
Time to use French mustard on my hot dog.
Ooh la la. Huh. Well,
Gay Perry weenie.
Now that everything is... This will be something I'll have to edit.
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, the joy of having above a garage. Anyhow... Now that gas is spread, when it comes to everything though, now that you've spent everything, are you going to do a Kickstarter campaign for your glasses to repair them?
No, luckily, I have the world's most awesome family, and that they understand sometimes your starving artist's son would appreciate glasses for his birthday.
No,
so I got it coming. It's good. I'll be taken care of. But no, it's Kickstarter is so it's such a like a roller coaster ride that like you should never rush into it for just stupid little projects. You should always give it the fear and respect it deserves. This is a terrifying mistress, and it will take you on a ride to places you didn't know your soul had.
Yeah, no, I agree. You're speaking to a person that had a failed Kickstarter campaign that didn't get funded, so...
Isn't it? Here's the thing, and I can speak to those emotions because until 6 hours to the end, I was right there with you. And, like, is it not like watching everything you love get killed in slow motion?
Yeah, but at least you would have been closer to your goal than we were, so...
It was excruciating. It was miserable. Like, you know, it's so funny. I did want to say, like, kudos to Robin Dempsey for that video where she said that you divorce your self-worth from your Kickstarter's performance. That is the best advice anyone can give anyone about Kickstarter, because you go to all these, like, insane places. Just you start asking crazy questions just because of, like, something as stupid as, like, donations. There's so many other factors that, like, play into whether or not your audience can help you. It might have nothing to do with how awesome your project is. Everyone might be, like, as was the case, doing this Kickstarter around Christmas was the worst plan. I will never do it again. I had so many, it was, like, sad. I would get sad messages from people being like, I sure wish I could help, but I'm unemployed and I've got to get my kids Christmas gifts. I just don't know how. And I'm like, dear Bob, oh my God, get the kids gifts. Don't worry about me. I'm a jerk. I should have never put you in this position, Bob. I should have never done it. So, yeah, there's so many things. Like, but you ask yourself crazy questions. Like, is any of this even worth it? You know? Does anyone even care?
I care, Bob. I care.
Exactly. No, it's terrible. It's a terrifying, terrible thing.
Well, now that it's done, now that it's over with, and you're finally not sick anymore because of, you know, you've succeeded. You have succeeded not only as a comic artist, you succeeded as a person that's getting a book published. You succeeded in the most critical aspect of being validated by Kickstarter. So, you know, that's in itself is amazing.
It's huge.
Where the heck do you go from here?
Oh man, it's so like, it's awesome just because this is the first domino that helps like knock the others down. It's kind of like when you were growing up, like before you kissed your first girl, like you or guy, whatever. It's all good. Before you kissed your first, like whatever you kiss, but like before your first kiss, like how scary that was, and like what you thought it was going to be like, and all this crap, and then like, you know, by the end of the year, you're like a French kissing master. So it's kind of like that. It's like now Kickstarter is less scary because I thought I had it with I thought I was treating it with all the respect. I've learned a ton. There is the material for a second book, and in 32 more pages, I'll have the material for a third book. And because I waited a few years before I did this first Kickstarter, so it's kind of cool because I can get those second books set up, and I will wait. Don't worry, those Kickstarters are a ways away. I don't want to work on a Kickstarter while that's the funny thing is like, okay, in order for book 2 to happen, like I would have to start making preparations for that Kickstarter now, and it would still hit in that fourth quarter around Christmas. So no Kickstarter this year, thank God. I am going to just pay attention to reward fulfillment and like getting everything created. The funny thing is that you can, and I know you said you had a Kickstarter, you could totally agree to this. You can think you have everything ready, and then once that Kickstarter starts, you have so much extra to do. So I am, with everything I've learned, I am not even going to begin that second Kickstarter until like 2014 sometime, when I have like all the material ready. So Book Two's Kickstarter is like over. I mean, we're in January, so that's like saying that I'm not even going to do that like for next year. For this year, I'm going to work on just trying to get a convention presence. That's the distribution is going to just be through the website, and like I really missed out on a ton of awesome opportunities not having a book. Like, I just want to thank, like, everybody. Like you said, it's such a huge, like, help and validation. And, like, it just helps so much with, like, opportunity to help get the word. I had one negative comment about, like, the time I took away from the dojo to do this Kickstarter. And that guy's like, it sure was annoying that this stopped updates. And I was like, it's okay that you feel that way. I'm annoyed that I haven't been updating too. But I said, this Kickstarter will help the dojo so much more than you could ever imagine. Because, like, there was free comic days. If you're sitting there with an empty table, like, you might as well not even go. You look like staff. You know, convention staff. I had a seat next to, like, Danielle Corsetto. And, like, she had her books, like, stacked sky high. I had, like, nothing. And she was like, oh, yeah, you got to get a book. Because that's the thing, is people would, like, be like, what do you do? Because, like, you know, book, like, drives home that you're a comic artist or whatever. If you, like, I tried pre-book to do these things, and then I just quit because I realized I was like, man, you know, there is no point to just going to represent with an empty table. You know, so I don't know, like, so many opportunities. Main thing is trying to get a convention presence. And I've got some. The other thing Kickstarter does, if you can avoid Kickstarter in any way, do it. Like, so I've got, like, if you can get the funds any other way, is what I mean. Do it that way. So, like, I've got some black and white print-on-demand projects. So you don't need a Kickstarter to do, like, print-on-demand projects. So I'm going to try and get some black and white POD stuff going this year. I would announce it, but, like, realistically, the one project is probably not going to make it for 2013. But Fat Ninja will make it. That one's going to be like a 32-page black and white POD. So print-on-demand. I'm not fancy. I'm lazy. So yeah, that's 2013 is, like, cram-packed. It's it's nuts. And trying to heal the wounds of 2012's crappy updating schedule. It's like,
what conventions do you have your eye on?
I moved. It's, like, awesome because I moved to, like, Pittsburgh. So I'm like, if you threw a dart in the center of all the conventions, like, there's Pittsburgh. So I've got, like, not that I can make OhioCon or anything like that, but, like, I've got, like, OhioCon, Pittsburgh Con, Steel City. There's, like, since I moved here, there were, like, 5 events that I just couldn't go to. Like, they've got the Toonseum, which is, like, yeah, I mean, there's just so much. This is a comic-heavy place. Like, a lot of creators around here, so it's awesome. And
you have a couple around your area. You got Barry Link from Phineas Magician for Hire. You got Don Griffin, Zorford and Fred in the area around you. You got.
I didn't know she was here. That's awesome. Hi, Don.
She's in Philly, actually. So.
Oh, see, this funny is this is one of those long states. We're like 5 hours away from each other, right? four or five. Something like 5 hours away.
6, if not 6.
So it's like we're in the same state. We're in Pennsylvania. But, like, I'm more almost in Ohio, and she's, like, would be more closer to Washington. Jersey. Yeah, she'd be closer to Jersey. So it'd be like, hi, Dawn. Bye, Dawn. I'll see you one day, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, you got PhillyCon, you got Baltimore Comic Con, you got, if you head out, you know, out west, if you happen to, you know, stop by Chicago for C2E2, you know, there's that, too.
I'd love to go to C2E2. Stephanie has a family out in Chicago, and I'm actually, like, ill that I didn't make it to the first C2E2 because everybody liked it, I thought.
Yeah, everyone did, actually. You can see the video interviews I've done where there it's all C2E2 stuff. So
yeah, that's really super positive. So yeah, I mean, I've got a built-in crash pad. So that's the thing, is it's so funny because like just all this opportunity, that I haven't been able to cash in on. Like Adam Black is out in Ohio.
Adam's a great guy.
And I agree, except for his terrible drinking problem. He will beat you, anyone, man, woman, child, animal. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding because I know he won't listen. Or maybe he will.
I'll make sure I put him in the comments here so he'll
tag him. No, Barry is one of my bros. I'll have to get his, and that's the thing too, is like just helping out, even helping out friends and stuff. Like, it's awesome because it helps out. I mean, your other friends, like Adam he's in Idaho, he's in the West Coast, but he, would have a tougher time, like all these conventions that I can go to now and like have his books at my table. Or like even Barry has like, a lot of responsibilities as a father, whereas I'm just a jerk who I have a cat. They eat out of a bowl and drink toilet water. They have two. Stephanie says I have two cats. I'm not fit for parenthood. But no, instead I could help out Barry by just representing conventions he can't go to. So
Sir, are you going to do the 24-hour comic day?
I am living right now. I'm a slave to the reward fulfillment process.
Right. Yeah.
So it's amazing. It dominates so much more of your time than you would ever imagine. But if I can at all, I would love to do 24-hour comic day. Like Barry, he did it, and he was like, "Oh, you gotta come out!" And like he was like constantly streaming pictures and like text, and I was just so jealous. Like that day, I was like at work, and I don't know, it's just such a downer. I would love to do 24-hour comic day, especially since there are so many. What's funny too is there's a lot of, you mentioned a lot of webcomic artists. There's a lot of print professionals here too.
Yeah.
Like Don Simpson, Jim Shooter, these guys make it out too. So it's cool. I don't know. I would love to do 24-hour comic day. Probably not going to get to this year. I think until May or June, I will be just like this, like 24, like, just as much as I can. Next, as much as I can. And I'm like, I got into a lot with the Kickstarter, a lot of like things you make, like painting those monies and stuff. So yeah, that's gonna take me some weird new places. So I don't know. We'll see. I want to. It'd be awesome.
It's never too late to go digital. Save your hands.
No way, man. No way. I can't. I just can't. Nah.
Well, internets, I tried. He's not going to switch to digital. All is lost.
I have all the respect in the world for digital. It's sad because I know that like those artists are smarter. They just are. There's like a lot more that you can do as an artist, in the realm of digital, just in terms of like, like for example, I'm about to run out of some supplies. And if I don't time the ordering of supplies right, I'll be short-handed on stuff I can do, techniques and stuff. Never going to run out of stuff on Photoshop,
Just memory.
Yeah, I'm an old man. Oh, man, I just like to draw. It's like pen and paper.
Oh, is there anything that I haven't brought up that you'd like to tell your readers as well as our listeners and watchers?
From the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. Like, and I mean everyone. Backers, obviously, yes, but like there were a lot of people who couldn't, like I said, like Bob with his kid, could not donate a thing. But I saw, like, I had Google alerts, and when your project is failing, like you said, like hard questions get asked. And people don't realize how scary it would have been had this failed. And I didn't throw any of that out there because I decided, I was like, I'm not going to like make anybody feel blackmailed. And I'm not going to like, I don't ever want anybody to feel like I'm making any kind of like threat or anything. But like, I knew that like I needed this book to go forward even as a cartoonist. So I was prepared to do like the crazy like things it was going to take to raise $14,000. Like 2 jobs, plus commissions, slow updates down to like, yeah, slow updates down to a crawl, go black and white so that I can focus on, you know, earning money to get the book printed, just crazy things. And it's just such a gift to get to do it the way that I intended without having to go to all that. Because this is a lot of work, you know, doing the reward fulfillment, but it is nothing compared to what was like getting ready to happen. So, thank you all so much. Everybody. I had a lot of awesome professionals, like Josh Lesnick helped a lot. Like, he wrote a big, like, write-up on it. Eric Larson of Savage Dragon, like, gave, you know, props. So, I don't know. Thank you, everybody. Every single last one of you. Thanks to the webcomic group. You know who you are. Ding! So much help came from that group, too. Like, moral, like, plans. Thanks. I mean, I can't thank everybody.
You could, but, well, you would go past the 4.5 hour limit I have for shows.
Terrible. And it would be terribly boring. People would be like, when's he going to say my name? When? They just minimize the window and start surfing, you know.
Oh, awesome. Well, you know, Raven, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's a true pleasure having you, and especially on such short notice. And it's a blast to finally see you succeed and with all of this. And I look forward to, you know, 2026 when you have Raven's Dojo Volume 28 available. So.
With the hologram edition. By then I'll be all digital because my carpal tunnel will have like destroyed half my body.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, you know, Stephen Hawking type character. LOL. Thank you for having me, Kurt. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And that ends this episode of TGT Media. Of course, you can find Raven's Dojo at ravensdojo.com. And with that type of outro, I just want to thank you all again for listening and watching the show. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and thank the cat. Mew.
The $3,000 cat.
He looks pretty alive for a stuffed one.
Got a good guy. I got a good taxidermist.
Awesome.
He's a Norman Bates type. Thank you for having me for reals. Thank you. I appreciate it.